Few figures throughout history evoke such fascination and controversy as Baphomet. This enigmatic symbol, often depicted as a goat-headed deity, has haunted the fringes of Western consciousness for centuries. Its origins shrouded in mystery, Baphomet has been demonized and worshipped, misinterpreted and reimagined. Its story is a journey through the darkest corners of religious persecution, occult philosophy, and the ever-evolving nature of rebellion. Our story begins in the Middle Ages, a time of religious fervor and brutal persecution. The Knights Templar, once revered for their bravery and piety, found themselves accused of the ultimate transgression heresy. Among the charges leveled against them was the worship of a mysterious idol known as Baphomet. Medieval records offer tantalizing glimpses into the nature of this alleged deity. Some accounts describe a three-faced head, others a grotesque idol adorned with occult symbols. The accusations, fueled by political intrigue and the Templars' growing wealth, ultimately led to the order's downfall. The 19th century witnessed a resurgence of interest in occultism and esoteric knowledge. Among those drawn to these hidden realms was Eliphas Levi, a French occultist who would forever alter our understanding of Baphomet. In his influential work Dogmes et Rituels de la Haute Magie, Levi presented a startling new interpretation of this ancient symbol. Gone was the grotesque idol of medieval accusations, replaced by a more nuanced and complex figure. Levi's Baphomet, depicted as a winged goat-headed humanoid with both male and female attributes, became an embodiment of duality and the union of opposites. The torch held aloft symbolized knowledge and enlightenment, while the gesture of as above, so below represented the interconnectedness of the spiritual and material realms. The 20th century saw Baphomet thrust onto a new stage, the realm of popular culture and social activism. From its adoption by Anton LaVey's Church of Satan as a symbol of individualism and rebellion, to its use by the Satanic Temple in their fight for secularism and social justice, Baphomet has become a lightning rod for controversy and a potent symbol of countercultural movements. No longer confined to dusty grimoires and occult lodges, Baphomet's image now adorns everything from album covers and tattoos to protest banners and courtrooms. Its meaning has become fluid, adaptable to the beliefs and agendas of those who embrace it. To understand the accusations leveled against the Knights Templar, we must first understand the order itself. Formed in the early 12th century, the Knights Templar emerged amidst the chaos of the Crusades, their mission to protect Christian pilgrims journeying to the Holy Land. These warrior monks, bound by vows of poverty, chastity and obedience, quickly gained a reputation for their bravery and military prowess. The Templars' influence extended far beyond the battlefield. They established a vast economic network, amassing wealth and power through donations and shrewd business dealings. They became bankers to kings, their fortified preceptories serving as safe havens for valuables and sensitive documents. Their white mantles, emblazoned with the iconic Red Cross, became a symbol of both faith and authority. Europe in the late 13th century was a world steeped in superstition and religious fervor. The Catholic Church held immense power, and any deviation from its doctrines was met with swift and brutal punishment. The Inquisition, established to combat heresy, cast a long shadow over the land. It was against this backdrop that rumors of Templar heresy began to circulate. Whispers of strange rituals conducted in the order's secret ceremonies reached the ears of those in power. Some accounts alleged the Templars practiced black magic, others accused them of denying Christ and spitting on the cross. In 1307, King Philip IV of France, deeply in debt to the Templars and eager to seize their wealth, saw an opportunity to eliminate his rivals. He allied himself with Pope Clement V, who, despite initial reluctance, was persuaded by the potential for consolidating papal power over the increasingly independent order. On Friday, October 13th, 1307, a date forever etched in history, King Philip unleashed his plan. Templars across France were arrested en masse, accused of heresy, blasphemy and immorality. The charges were as shocking as they were numerous, detailing acts of devil worship, obscene rituals and the veneration of a demonic idol, Baphomet. The trials of the Templars, orchestrated by King Philip and sanctioned by the papacy, were a sham from the start. The accused were denied legal representation, subjected to horrific torture, and coerced into confessing to crimes they likely did not commit. The charges against them, including heresy, blasphemy and sodomy, played upon the deepest fears of medieval society. Central to these accusations was the alleged worship of Baphomet. This mysterious idol became the embodiment of the Templars' supposed transgression, a tangible representation of their rejection of Christ and embrace of evil. The confessions, extracted under duress, provided lurid details of Templar rituals involving Baphomet. The demise of the Knights Templar sent shockwaves throughout Europe. The accusations of heresy, blasphemy and idol worship, though largely unsubstantiated, had a profound impact on the order's legacy. The spectre of Baphomet, the mysterious idol at the heart of the accusations, continued to haunt the imaginations of those who dared to whisper the Templars' name. Despite attempts by King Philip and the papacy to erase the Templars from history, their story endured. The mystery surrounding their downfall, fueled by rumors of hidden treasure and occult knowledge, captured the imaginations of writers, artists, and conspiracy theorists for centuries to come. As the medieval world gave way to the Enlightenment, the spectre of Baphomet, once a weaponized symbol of heresy, lay dormant, awaiting rediscovery in the fertile ground of 19th century occultism. This era, marked by a burgeoning interest in esoteric traditions and a fascination with the hidden forces of the universe, provided the perfect environment for Baphomet's re-emergence. Across Europe, secret societies and occult orders flourished, drawing upon ancient texts and forbidden knowledge. Mystics, scholars, and self-proclaimed magicians sought to unlock the secrets of the universe, exploring forgotten paths to spiritual enlightenment and tapping into the power of the unseen world. Eliphas Levi dedicated his life to what alchemists called the Great Work, the pursuit of spiritual transformation and the attainment of higher consciousness. He saw the universe as a complex web of interconnected forces, governed by hidden laws and principles accessible through the study of ancient wisdom traditions like Kabbalah, Tarot, and ceremonial magic. Levi believed that symbols were not merely representations of ideas, but living entities imbued with their own unique power and significance. He saw in them a language through which humans could communicate with the unseen world, tapping into the hidden forces that governed reality. It was through this lens that Levi approached the enigmatic figure of Baphomet. In 1856, Eliphas Levi published his magnum opus, Dogme et Rituel de la Haute Magie, Dogma and Ritual of High Magic, a work that would have a profound impact on the trajectory of Western occultism. It was within this book that Levi unveiled his now iconic depiction of Baphomet, forever altering the perception of this enigmatic figure. Gone was the grotesque demonic idol of medieval accusations. In its place stood a majestic androgynous figure, both human and animal, male and female, embodying the duality that Levi believed lay at the heart of existence. This was not the devil of Christian dogma, but a symbol of the Divine Androgyne, a representation of the creative and destructive forces of the universe in perfect balance. Levi's Baphomet was more than just a striking image, it was a complex tapestry of symbolism, each element carefully chosen to convey a specific aspect of his occult philosophy. The goat's head, far from representing evil, symbolized the generative forces of nature, the raw primal energy that drives creation. The wings, often associated with angels and spiritual beings, represented the ascent of consciousness, the striving for higher knowledge and understanding. The torch held aloft, a beacon of illumination, symbolized the power of knowledge to dispel ignorance and guide the seeker towards enlightenment. Eliphas Levi's reinterpretation of Baphomet sent shockwaves through the esoteric underground and beyond. It sparked debate and controversy, inspiring both admiration and condemnation. Some saw in Levi's work a dangerous glorification of the demonic, while others recognized it as a profound exploration of the hidden depths of human consciousness. Levi's Baphomet, freed from the shackles of its medieval past, became a canvas onto which subsequent generations of occultists, artists and rebels would project their own interpretations and beliefs. It would go on to inspire figures like Aleister Crowley, who incorporated Baphomet into his system of sex magic, seeing in the figure a symbol of the union of opposites and the potential for spiritual liberation through transgression. As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, a new and controversial figure emerged on the stage of Western occultism, one who would further redefine Baphomet and its significance. Aleister Crowley, a man who would become known as both a genius and a madman, a prophet and a charlatan, a master of self-promotion and a dedicated seeker of spiritual truth. Born into a wealthy British family in 1875, Crowley rejected the rigid morality and religious hypocrisy of Victorian England. He was drawn to the occult and esoteric traditions, seeing in them a path to personal liberation and the exploration of hidden knowledge. He devoured ancient texts, experimented with drugs and sexual practices, and immersed himself in the world of secret societies and magical orders. Central to Crowley's magical system was the concept of the Divine Androgyne, the union of male and female principles within a single being. He believed that this primordial unity, represented in various cultures and mythologies, held the key to unlocking hidden spiritual powers and achieving a state of higher consciousness. Crowley saw in Baphomet the perfect embodiment of this divine androgyne. The figure's blend of male and female characteristics, its embrace of both light and shadow, resonated with his belief in the necessity of integrating seemingly opposing forces to achieve wholeness. For Crowley, Baphomet was not merely a symbol, but a living entity, a powerful force to be invoked and channeled through magical practices. Crowley's system of sex magic was not about hedonism or indulgence, but a complex and highly ritualized practice designed to tap into the raw power of sexual energy and direct it towards spiritual goals. He believed that the energy released during orgasm, often referred to as kundalini in Eastern traditions, could be harnessed and used to fuel magical workings, facilitating communication with higher beings and the manifestation of one's will. One of the most well-known examples of Crowley's sex magic is his Gnostic Mass, a ritual designed to celebrate life, love and the union of opposites. Central to this ritual was the figure of Baphomet, who served as a focal point for the channeling of sexual energy and the invocation of divine power. Crowley's embrace of sex magic and his elevation of Baphomet to a central role in his system were not merely acts of rebellion, though they certainly challenged the status quo. He believed that true spiritual progress required a willingness to confront and transcend the artificial limitations imposed by society, particularly in the realm of sexuality. He argued that the repression of natural desires, particularly those deemed taboo or immoral, hindered spiritual growth and prevented individuals from accessing their full potential. Crowley believed that by embracing and exploring all aspects of their being, including their sexuality, humans could tap into a primal source of power and achieve a state of liberation. Aleister Crowley's legacy is as complex and contradictory as the man himself. He remains a polarizing figure, revered by some as a visionary genius and condemned by others as a depraved charlatan. His teachings on sex magic, his embrace of transgression, and his elevation of Baphomet to a central role in his system continue to provoke strong reactions. However, there is no denying the profound impact Crowley has had on the landscape of Western occultism. He challenged the Victorian morality of his time, pushing the boundaries of acceptable discourse around sexuality and spirituality. His writings, though often dense and esoteric, inspired a new generation of occultists and seekers to explore the hidden depths of their own being. The mid-20th century witnessed a seismic shift in Western society. The horrors of World War II, the spectre of the Cold War, and the erosion of traditional values left many questioning established authority and seeking new avenues for self-expression. It was against this backdrop of social upheaval and spiritual questioning that a new religious movement emerged, one that would once again thrust Baphomet into the spotlight: modern Satanism. In 1966, a charismatic and controversial figure named Anton LaVey founded the Church of Satan in San Francisco, California. LaVey, a former lion tamer and self-proclaimed magician, tapped into the growing countercultural currents of the time, offering a philosophy that challenged traditional religious dogma and embraced individualism, self-gratification, and the pursuit of earthly pleasures. LaVey's Church of Satan, with its emphasis on self-empowerment and rejection of traditional morality, quickly gained notoriety and attracted a diverse following of artists, intellectuals, and those seeking an alternative to mainstream religion. LaVey, with his theatrical flair and penchant for the provocative, cultivated an image of both intellectual sophistication and dark allure. The Church of Satan's rituals, often described as psychodramas, were designed to help participants confront their deepest desires and fears, to break free from societal conditioning and embrace their true selves. These rituals, often involving nudity, chanting, and the invocation of ancient deities, were not about worshipping the devil, but about harnessing the power of symbolism and ritual to achieve personal transformation. LaVey's choice of Baphomet as a central symbol was both deliberate and provocative. By reclaiming a figure long associated with heresy, witchcraft, and the occult, LaVey sought to challenge conventional notions of good and evil, to force people to confront their own prejudices and preconceived notions. Baphomet, with its blend of human and animal characteristics, its embrace of both masculine and feminine energies, and its association with forbidden knowledge, became a powerful symbol of individuality and nonconformity. It represented the rejection of blind obedience to authority, whether religious, social, or political, and the embrace of self-determination. At the heart of LaVey's Satanism was a profound rejection of what he saw as the hypocrisy and life-denying teachings of traditional religion, particularly Christianity. He argued that Christianity, with its emphasis on sin, guilt, and the afterlife, encouraged people to deny their natural instincts and repress their true desires. LaVey's Satanism, in contrast, embraced a philosophy of self-indulgence, encouraging its followers to pursue pleasure in all its forms as long as it harmed none. This focus on personal gratification, on living life to the fullest in the here and now, stood in stark contrast to the ascetic ideals of mainstream religion. The satanic panic of the 1980s, fueled by media sensationalism, religious fundamentalism, and a lack of understanding about alternative spiritualities, cast a long shadow over the Church of Satan and other groups associated with Satanism. Innocent people were accused of horrific crimes, families were torn apart, and the symbol of Baphomet became synonymous in the public imagination with evil and danger. However, the Church of Satan and other satanic groups have consistently condemned violence, abuse, and illegal activities, emphasizing that their philosophy is about personal responsibility and living in accordance with one's own values, not harming others. They have worked to dispel the myths and misconceptions surrounding Satanism, highlighting the fact that their beliefs are based on reason, individualism, and a rejection of superstition, not the worship of evil. While Anton LaVey's Church of Satan focused on individual empowerment and challenging traditional morality, it was primarily a reaction against the religious norms of its time. In the 21st century, a new branch of Satanism emerged, one that sought to redefine the movement's goals and methods. This new form of Satanism placed a greater emphasis on social justice, political activism, and legal challenges to what it perceived as religious overreach. It aimed to address contemporary issues and injustices through a unique lens. This new movement, known as the Satanic Temple, would once again thrust Baphomet into the public eye, but with a different purpose. This time, Baphomet served as a symbol of protest and a tool for advocating for secularism and individual rights, challenging the status quo. Founded in 2012, the Satanic Temple quickly gained attention for its bold and provocative actions. The Satanic Temple distinguished itself from earlier forms of Satanism by emphasizing activism and social justice as central tenets of its philosophy. It sought to engage with the public and the legal system to promote its values. Despite its provocative name, TST does not actually believe in a literal Satan. Instead, it uses Satan as a metaphorical representation of rebellion against arbitrary authority and oppression. Satan, in this context, symbolizes the eternal rebel, the one who stands against tyranny and fights for justice and equality. The Satanic Temple particularly targets the overreach of religious institutions, advocating for the separation of church and state and defending individual freedoms against religious imposition. Perhaps the most visible and controversial manifestation of the Satanic Temple's activism has been their use of a large bronze statue of Baphomet as a tool for challenging religious displays on public property. In 2014, TST commissioned a statue of Baphomet, complete with goat head, wings and children flanking the central figure, designed to be placed alongside a monument of the Ten Commandments on the grounds of the Oklahoma State Capitol. TST argued that if the government allowed one religious monument on public property, it must allow others, thereby ensuring equal representation for all beliefs, including those deemed unconventional or offensive by the majority. This strategy, known as the Equal Access Clause, has been used by TST in various legal battles across the United States. The Satanic Temple's use of Baphomet as a symbol of protest extends beyond the realm of religious monuments. They have launched numerous campaigns and legal challenges aimed at what they see as violations of the separation of church and state in various aspects of American life. TST has challenged mandatory prayer in schools, arguing that it violates the religious freedom of students who do not share the majority faith. They have distributed satanic coloring books to counter the distribution of Bibles in public schools, arguing that if one religious viewpoint is allowed, others must be as well. The Satanic Temple's use of Baphomet has added another layer of complexity to this already multifaceted symbol. Once a whispered accusation of heresy, then a symbol of occult knowledge, and later an icon of individualism and rebellion, Baphomet has now become a tool for social justice and a potent representation of the fight for secularism. For TST, Baphomet represents the right to be free from imposed beliefs, to question authority, and to live in accordance with one's own conscience. It has become a symbol of solidarity for those who feel marginalized or persecuted for their beliefs, a reminder that they are not alone in their fight for equality and autonomy. The journey through the history of Baphomet is a trek across a landscape of shifting interpretations and evolving meanings. This enigmatic figure has traversed centuries, leaving a trail of mystery and intrigue in its wake. From its shadowy origins in medieval accusations to its modern-day embodiment of rebellion and social justice, Baphomet has consistently defied easy categorization. It has been a symbol of both fear and fascination, a representation of the unknown and the misunderstood. It remains a figure of fascination and controversy, a symbol that continues to provoke strong reactions and spark debate about the nature of belief, the limits of free expression, and the relationship between the individual and society. Whether seen as a demonic entity or a symbol of freedom, Baphomet challenges us to question our assumptions and confront our deepest fears. Throughout its long and winding history, Baphomet has been demonized and deified, misinterpreted and reimagined. Each era has projected its own anxieties and aspirations onto this complex symbol, reshaping its meaning to fit the cultural context of the time. It has served as a scapegoat for those seeking to consolidate power, a convenient target for accusations and blame during times of social and political upheaval, a source of inspiration for those seeking spiritual enlightenment, a beacon for those drawn to the mysteries of the occult and the esoteric, and a rallying cry for those challenging the status quo. In modern times, it has been adopted by various movements as a symbol of resistance and defiance against established norms and authorities. Its meaning has been fluid, adaptable to the beliefs and agendas of those who have embraced it, reflecting the anxieties, aspirations, and evolving values of each era. As society continues to change, so too will the interpretations and significance of Baphomet, ensuring that it remains an enduring enigma for generations to come. The evolving interpretations of Baphomet reveal not only the changing nature of belief, but also the enduring anxieties that have haunted Western civilization for centuries. From the fear of heresy and witchcraft in the Middle Ages to the moral panics of the 20th century, Baphomet has consistently served as a focal point for anxieties about the unknown, the unconventional, and the challenges to established authority. In the medieval mind, Baphomet represented the ultimate transgression, the rejection of God and the embrace of evil. The accusations leveled against the Knights Templar, though likely fabricated, tapped into a deep-seated fear of secret societies, occult knowledge, and the potential for corruption within the Church itself. Once relegated to the fringes of society, whispered about in hushed tones and often misunderstood, and associated with secret societies and forbidden knowledge, Baphomet has, in recent decades, made its way into the mainstream. This enigmatic figure, shrouded in mystery and controversy, has transcended its origins. Its image, once confined to grimoires and occult lodges, now appears on everything from album covers of popular music bands and tattoos to fashion accessories like jewelry and clothing. The symbol has been embraced by various subcultures and protest banners, becoming a powerful icon in public demonstrations and street art. This shift from margin to mainstream is due in part to the growing acceptance of alternative spiritualities and the decline of traditional religious affiliation, particularly among younger generations. As people seek new ways to express their beliefs and identities, for many, Baphomet no longer carries the same connotations of evil or devil worship that it once did. Instead, it has been reinterpreted and reimagined, becoming a symbol of rebellion against conformity, a celebration of individuality and a statement of personal freedom, and a rejection of what some see as the hypocrisy and outdated moral codes of mainstream society. This transformation reflects broader cultural shifts towards inclusivity and the questioning of established norms. As we conclude our exploration of Baphomet's long and winding journey, one theme emerges as a constant defiance. Throughout its history, Baphomet has represented a challenge to the status quo, a rejection of imposed beliefs and a celebration of individual autonomy. Whether in the hands of medieval heretics accused of challenging the church, occultists seeking knowledge beyond the confines of dogma, or modern-day activists fighting for secularism and social justice, Baphomet has consistently embodied the spirit of rebellion, the courage to question, and the refusal to conform to societal expectations.